It's a place where you can shop Toys R Us, Bath and Body Works, Estee Lauder, Home Depot, and Tempur-Pedic all under one roof. And no, it's not a shopping mall, or a Walmart, or a Macy's. This is the Navy Exchange. It's a chain of retail stores operated by the U.S. Navy for active duty military members, veterans, and their families. Some are small convenience stores called micro markets, and others are sprawling department stores. These shops, along with a chain of hotels called Navy Lodges, are run by the Navy Exchange Service Command, known as Nexcom.
When someone joins the military, they raise their hand and they say, I'm going to serve, and we say, hey, we're going to take care of you. And one of these benefits is the Navy Exchange benefit.
Products are typically discounted and tax-free. 100% of the store's profits goes back to sailors.
If you come here and buy a couple big items, you're saving $400, $500 if it adds up.
But sales have fallen. From fiscal 2021 to fiscal 2024, sales were down nearly 5% at a time when retail sales overall were growing. That's proof the Navy Exchange stores have lost market share to bigger, savvier competitors like Amazon and Walmart. Now, the government is spending millions to win back shoppers.
We didn't start off saying we're going to create the store of the future, but we were 2 or 3 projects in and realized that's in essence what we're doing. Anytime we've touched an area, it's driving more sales.
CNBC went to Virginia to get a first-hand look to see how the U.S. Navy is renovating its retail stores so it can better compete with Walmart, Amazon, and Target. So far, they say it's working. The retail world has always been competitive, but even more so as e-commerce becomes faster and more convenient. Over the past 5 years, Amazon has scooped up more and more of overall consumer spending.
They have good things at the exchange. I don't have a problem with what they carry. I can find a variety of stuff here, but it's just the convenience. Amazon's never closed.
I have an Amazon Prime membership. I shop at Costco. I'm a fan of Costco. We are never going to fill 100% of the needs of a patron. We'd like to think we would, but that's almost an impossibility. But what we want to do is whenever they need something, we want to be first or second in their mind, preferably first.
Sales have been on the decline for more than a decade, falling around 20% between fiscal 2012 and 2024. That means its dividends, which feed military welfare programs, are a fraction of what they were in the past. Dividends fell over 40% around the same time period. That's where Melissa Gonzalez comes in. Her firm, MG2, was hired by Nexcom to help it fix its store so they can get back to growth as part of its Store of the Future initiative.
They have a lot of unique challenges with the Navy Exchange. One, no 2 buildings are the same. So it's really hard to standardize things that you would then roll out once you come up with a concept, because there's a lot of different scenarios with the architecture, with the geography, with merchandising. But imagining we didn't have those differences, it was really thinking about how do we think in modern day about how we convey value to the sailor.
While the company has not yet released its annual report for 2025, it says that the turnaround efforts are taking hold.
Across the entire business, sales were up at 25 compared to 24. Do you have how much?
I can tell you retail was up 3.2%.
Nexcom is spending around $100 million to fix its stores, a significant portion of which will be used to support Store of the Future projects. It's already spent around $20 million and plans to spend $80 more over the next 3 years.
Do toys make more sense near consumer technology and sporting goods, where maybe that's where the basketball is and the gaming is, and how do you bridge those things together? So we did try to step back, and every time, what does value look like, but also what's the intuitive journey, and do these current layouts speak to what's intuitive?
A big part of this turnaround is focusing on the retail fundamentals, right? We've got old, outdated flooring over here. We've got old carpeting, and that kind of subconsciously just makes it not a great retail experience. It's not a place where people want to spend a lot of money. So as part of this turnaround, they're fixing fundamentals, lighting, carpet, floors, signage, and you're also going to see a lot more digital signage at some of these stores. What prompted this evolution and this moment to kind of rethink the fleet?
We have stores that range from a 200 square foot micro market to a 200,000 square foot flagship that oftentimes our ability to introduce new product rapidly was challenging. It took months to be able to do the planograms and to do the deliveries and get it through. And so we started this really as a way to How do we apply more flexibility to the model?
This is one of the stores that hasn't been renovated yet, and the consumer electronics department is where you're going to see a lot of changes. As you can see behind me, you've got a bunch of random TVs on the wall, a lot of dead space, and what they want to do is make sure that, customers know the branding, they know the specifications. This is a big ticket item, and of course you also want to maximize that space. You have a lot of dead space there that's not good merchandising. That's area where more product can go.
But those challenges are already being addressed.
There's a test store. So everything that we ideated on through our renderings, they were able to bring into that test store and see how it would perform and benchmark it over a store that didn't have those changes.
CNBC visited a store that's undergone extensive renovations in Norfolk, Virginia, which is home to the world's largest naval complex.
Actually, I have been a while since I came. It looked like they did some more organized more stuff around. It don't look like it's too crowded sometimes, It looked good, it looked nice.
We had a renovation project down in the southeast that literally lasted about 6 years. We kind of took the store and we basically deconstructed the whole thing and tried to reconstruct it. By the time we finished it, the market had sort of moved on, right? The pace of retail is increasing every day. So instead of sort of a vertical redo, we're saying, okay, let's pick an area, whether it be essentials, beauty, right, electronics, home, and let's try to modernize and renovate and make that best in class.
Before the renovations, that was the grocery store, that was the department store, and here in this tunnel was the Bath and Body Works section, so a little bit random. Now that things have been turned around, Bath and Body Works is still here, but it's in a better location with better signage, and now sales for the brand are up 40%.
The new stores have improved the way individual brands are displayed, especially in categories like jewelry and beauty. At unrenovated locations, brands are clustered and often undifferentiated.
And here you'll see we have Pandora, but then it's not till over there where you have Kendra Scott, then you have a Charm Bar over here, you have another brand here, so really kind of cleaning up a back wall so it feels a little bit more like these brand shops and these brand moments, and so they can kind of go down that journey and intersect with each one of those brand moments.
They've added a lot more beauty section, which is really nice, and different brands.
I talked about how we want to be able to move the fixtures around, move the walls around as the business demands, but we also know that our patrons really love when we host special events. And so this is one where we can move these fixtures, we can utilize our digital media, and we have held events in here with 50 or 60 people after hours where we can bring in a beauty influencer, we can bring in brands, or we can do giveaways, we can do makeovers, and just have an event for our patrons.
Still, it's not always the most convenient option. Its online storefront can be clunky. Some items require customers to call in to place their order, and shoppers need military credentials to log on.
It's like through my husband, and so it's like this big rigmarole to try to get logged on. It's kind of a pain.
Its overall footprint is also much smaller than some of its competition.
We're about 20 minutes from here. There's a Walmart 5 minutes from our house. So
Walmart recently hit a $1 trillion market cap, thanks in large part to its fast-growing e-commerce business. It's also invested billions to upgrade its stores in recent years. Its stock has soared, up around 165% over the past 5 years. The Navy Exchange publishes an annual financial report, but doesn't report earnings quarterly like a publicly traded company. Its performance also isn't driven by shareholder value. Well, at least not in the traditional stock market sense.
The reality is the folks like the ones you see walking through the hallway here in uniform, they're our shareholders.
2025 was a bright spot for military recruitment. All active duty branches either met or exceeded its goals. But enlistment has been a long-term problem. Military applicant levels have been declining for decades, and retention is also a challenge. The total number of enlistees at entry-level pay grades declined around 9% between 2014 and 2024. And the Navy saw the largest percentage drop of all the forces over that decade. The Navy Exchange is one of the many ways the military works to retain soldiers. The shopping experience is tailored towards the needs of military members and their families.
This is a base that is more of a suburban base. There's a lot of families here, so we're going to have more kids apparel here than we would in another base that's not that far away.
And of course, the discounts and tax-free shopping experience are an added bonus. But the real purpose of these stores is to generate profits that help sailors around the world. The money helps to fund MWR programs. That means morale, welfare, and recreation. This includes things like access to a gym, discounted tickets to sporting events and concerts, and internet access, and even just dining options when on base. This is especially important to military members around the world, where these benefits greatly improve their quality of life when deployed overseas.
How important is that for military families to make sure that sales are good and you have profits coming in?
No, I mean, the pressure is there. I feel it. It's not just about the ROI, but we have stores in Poland and Romania that are literally in the middle of a cow pasture, right? But we're there because there's 150 sailors who need support. We have stores like Hawaii or here at Oceana where we're able to make a profit and kind of subsidize some of the lesser stores.
And the company's operations aren't just happening on land. Bianchi said that there are over 130 stores on aircraft carrier ships.
That store on that ship can do almost $3 or $4 million a year. So it's big business.
However, its biggest stores, like the ones we visited near the military base in Virginia, are more directly at odds with giants like Walmart, Target, and Amazon. If service members aren't shopping at Navy Exchange stores and profits and sales are falling as a result, that means less funding for welfare benefits for Navy members. Then the whole model starts to fall apart. While Nex is nowhere near the size of its larger competitors, it's still a more than $2 billion per year business with millions of potential customers.
Every dollar that the sailors or our patrons spend in our stores, eventually, like a pachinko machine, it makes its way back to the base. Money comes in, we invest it, we generate sales, we return the earnings back to the sailors, and then the cycle starts again. It's the circle of life, yeah.